audit yet, but we'll get to my audit. But we got a new scoper in the building. Shout out, yes. Show me your scope in the scope. He's scoping the scope. He just joined Periscope. Not only that, also you got to turn it down. Can't scope while we scoping.
Right.
We want you scoping the scope while you're over there. Welcome, guys, again. This is Black Friday Inside Tuya. This is what our network does on Fridays. Rita and I decided, and I have to give this story, that we would come into Tuya and do a 20, 30-minute scope. And we started offering, one day we did it and we had a studio audience.
Right.
And then we was like, jump in the scope. I'm known on Periscope for scoping the scope. Most people know me because I've gone into their scope and said, hey, listen, I've got some people watching you. I'm a 14-year blogger at dryerbuzz.com. I've got 2 decades of selling online and then 3 decades helping to create the internet, helping to close the digital divide with women and minorities and entrepreneurs, making sure that everybody is on the right platform, creating buzz about their business. That's what I do. I'm the author of 27 Answers to Create Buzz. Partner with Rita Foster Thomas because she's the essence of GoPro. She is what we all want to be. Isn't she the essence of GoPro? Now, especially we know that she's getting up at 5 o'clock going to the gym. It's like she just keeps setting the bar. She keeps setting the bar. Thank you so much, Rhonda. You typed that in? Is that you? Okay. Rhonda is our, they call it Scope Scribe. I don't want to take anybody's hashtag, but that's what she's doing over there as well. So, what we decided to do, because we end up having such a fabulous audience, people with fabulous businesses. This is, can I say Mousy's son?
Yes.
Okay, this is Mousy's baby boy, y'all. But not only that, he's on Instagram. He is one of the fabulous tattoo artists that we have here in Atlanta. I mean, you can just tell the artsy just went from one to the other. You inherited all the art gene, right? What, the aunties and all, everybody does something creative, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and so you're a tattoo artist.
Yes.
And you are, he said, yes, ma'am. But you are mobile as well as you're located. You said you're actually going to change locations, but you are mobile.
I'm considering.
Okay.
Change. I'm not. It's not done yet.
Not done yet.
Yeah,
but you are scoping now.
Yeah, yeah.
And the scope name you came up with was?
Oh, it's Angel 1170.
Angel 1170. Angel, type in his scope name, Angel, ANGEL, 1170. Is that the month and year you were born?
No, it's just
Okay.
a number that I've always ran across a lot, so I just use it.
Cool. All right, so for somebody like myself,
It means something.
it means something. It's a story, and you know we'll get the story. We got him not only to he's gonna get ready to scope, but we got him into the scope. And how adamant was he about not getting on camera?
That's true.
All right, so I am not tattooed yet.
Right.
So I am considering my first tattoo.
We're gonna do it.
What he said we're gonna do it. How does a person get ready for that first tattoo? Because some people go and get a little something, and then they go back, and then they go back, and then they go back. How do you decide to get that first tattoo?
Well, you know, it differs for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just jump out there and just get a tattoo.
They just come in and say, "Give me something."
Right. They don't even know what they want.
Wow.
But you know, as you get older, you get a little wiser as to your choices. And I think that if you put enough thought into it, and it actually means something, that you'll love it longer.
Love it long. Ooh.
And you won't want to get it covered up, and you
I love
spend
that.
your time really contemplating on what you want, where you want it, how you want it. If you want it the people to see it, or if you want it just to be for you.
Right.
Because I mean, all tattoos don't have to mean anything, but
Right.
some people want them to, and some people don't. Some people.
If
just
you
get
want a
things that look
tattoo
good.
just for you, where do you put that?
Well, you don't have to put it to where everybody else can see. I have to put tattoos upside down for people
See, that's what I want. I want like
because they want to
because
see
you're
it.
looking at it. Right.
So it really all depends on you. But my job is to find out what you want. Sometimes I have to pull that information out of you.
Because one of the things we said that I know what I want, but he's going to bring it to fruition for me is I want a charm bracelet with Triple A and BJ, which is the kids. The daughters, their names start with an A.
Right.
And I've said I was going to get that ever since they were little. But now, as they have grown, each one of them have gone and gotten a version of AAA and BJ. But what they did was accentuate their part in the initials. Because it's AAABJ. So the oldest daughter, she's the first A. So her first A is accentuated. The second daughter, she's the second A. So her A is accentuated. And then everybody's going to get my tattoo that I've always said I wanted. So now I have to get it, but I want it as a charm bracelet, maybe some ivy or something significant. But I don't want it closed all the way. I want it like to stop, like a bangle kind of thing, but leaving it like that. I want a little bit of opening. I don't want to close it.
Right.
And for some reason that means something. Not closing it means something to me. I don't know why, but I just don't want it to close. I guess because I don't like the whole commitment of, I don't like being tied down. I'm like, I don't want to close it. I want to leave it open.
But that's how we'll come up with the tattoo.
Right.
Like, ultimately, the job is to pick your brain, spend some time with you, and then just figure out the best thing for you.
There we go. So we've also decided we're going to do that in a scope.
We will.
Oh, wow.
We're going to do that in scope. We might do it. He's mobile. So while we have a scope going on, I'll be getting a tattoo here at Chewy. We're going to do it here. We're going to do it here. We probably want to do it in December before the new year because I might want to take it into the new year with me.
All right.
And maybe we can even put that year in the scope. I mean, in a tattoo. So he's going to work on all of that. So how do you then now, all that I have just said, how do you begin to translate that? You had a question?
Yeah,
Well, how painful is it?
Well,
how painful is the tattoo?
tattoos are painful. It's a needle poking you a bunch of times. But I'm not doing surgery. I'm not cutting your arm off. I mean, so it's more irritable and just uncomfortable more than anything.
Right.
But I mean, it's more or less like a.
Should you drink before? Does that help?
That helps.
Or is that dangerous?
Well, it's not.
Not him. He should.
Call it a glass
Right,
of wine.
you should. A glass of wine. So however you need to mellow.
It's not. You're not. They say you're not supposed to. You should. Because alcohol can thin the blood. But you have to be drinking like all day. You can't come in here all sloshed.
But it seems like
and expect for it to go well.
But isn't that like the story in all the movies that everybody ends up with a tattoo? They're just like.
Well, it happens. It happens more times than you really want it to. But as a tattoo artist, you're supposed to say, "You're a little too drunk. Come back." You're not supposed to tattoo them.
Right. When they come in and ask, what's the weirdest thing a person has ever asked for? And you like, okay.
Jesus, I think it was.
Where?
Nailed to his forehead. Yeah.
Oh my word.
Somebody wanted Jesus.
Jesus, like on the crucifix, but no cross, just on his forehead. And I just didn't really want to do that.
Yeah.
So I just charged. I said a ridiculous price. So
What if they said, okay?
Yeah, well, then I would have just been like, just got to find another way to deter them. I don't want to be the person that
I love it.
that does that. That's just.
We might need to do a tattoo blog or something, because those are some interesting stories. But you're going to come up with a scope. You're going to start scoping.
Yeah.
You love it, the platform?
I think it's great. I think it's cool.
Yeah, so we're going to watch that. Follow him on Periscope, of course, Angel1170. Can't forget that. Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a legal age?
18.
18, okay.
Yeah, but parents can consent?
I mean, yeah, because,
No?
No, technically 18 is it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who knew?
It's really because kids don't really know what they want to do.
Right.
They don't have an idea of what they're going to do. And although tattoos come a long way in society, and they're more accepted now than ever, you gotta know that when you put a tattoo on your neck or on your hands or your face for that matter, that it's a judgment call, and people in business look at you like you had to make that decision. Do I want you making decisions for my company?
Wow.
So it's you kind of got
You see a lot of cover up stuff going on
yeah,
now.
you got to do a lot of cover.
What's the weirdest thing that's been covered up? Isn't that the question? People are covering up. Is it something that people did like in a certain decade and now they like, okay, we got to cover this?
Yeah, a lot of times I get more times than not that I get people that get tattoos by people that do them in their garage or whatever and there's just bad tattooers,
Yeah.
and it just
In
looks
the
bad.
garage.
Or they just do them wherever. And And it just looks bad, and
Yeah.
they're usually young, 15, 16, as young as 14.
Wow.
That have tattoos that just look
That
horrible.
friends have done.
And they've had to live with them for X amount of years until they had somebody professional fix them.
Okay, but there was this women getting a tattoo on the chest.
Right.
And then the summer comes, and we've seen it in training manuals and what is the dress codes? When you see the training manual has to mention cover up
Do
your
they get
tattoo.
Tattoos are
Yes,
like,
it does mention it.
tattoos are like real estate. Location.
Location.
It
Because
is.
especially with teachers,
Well,
it's like you're teaching my son. We
but
don't
at
need to
the
know you
same,
got
but
that.
at the same time, people that have tattoos just have an open mind set
Right.
on art and their expression.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily make them bad people.
No, it
I know
doesn't.
some of the best people I know are tattooed head to toe.
And you
they're
would believe it.
genuinely good people. Just really.
I
good-hearted
remember
people.
I saw
So
a news.
it's a bad stereotype that's carried tattoos.
How, you said you don't have that many though.
I don't.
You don't. Okay, because like the sleep, one of the things I know for a fact that I don't like is basketball, and they've just. In fact, I want next year's basketball uniforms to have sleeves. I just don't want to see it. I don't. I love it. I think it's great art. But when you're watching the basketball game and everybody's got the sleeve, it's like if everybody has it,
It's not unique.
you can't. It's not unique anymore.
Right.
But I just think that when they're playing basketball and you're in a uniform, I think now they should go back to sleeves. And there's so much in sports gear that they can wear
Yes,
and
they
still
can.
be comfortable and still play basketball. I'm just saying. I think so.
Well, I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
that's what makes us individuals.
Yeah.
That's and it's just a matter of whether the company, whoever's paying these people, if they want to
Yeah.
cover it up,
Yeah.
That's
Because I
what
mean,
they
when
need to
Dennis
do.
Rodman was doing it, it was like you couldn't wait to see him because you couldn't wait to see what he did next.
Right.
But now that everybody does it,
Well,
so how
because-
do you keep it unique? How do you keep it unique?
I mean,
Is it the artist that has to come up with something new, or the person?
yeah, I mean, it's the individual and the artist. It's a duel.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes both of them.
Did you realize we were having this much conversation about tattooing?
I did not.
But
But
we
it's
are.
cool. But it's cool. It's
And
cool.
so we need to just do a tattoo scope.
There you are.
Because
There you
clearly
go.
we've got a lot of questions about tattoos.
Well,
Because
I mean, a lot of people, I think, do.
I
I think
know.
a lot of people just don't understand.
They're
it.
just intrigued
And I think
by
a
it.
lot of people are scared of it because they don't understand.
They don't
That
understand.
Older people, we come from a different time, where it wasn't cool.
Right.
But tattooing's been around, before Christ.
Right.
I mean, years.
It was a
thousands
form
and
of
thousands
expression.
years.
Yes.
Well, it's a rite of passage. There's just so many different ways
Wow.
that tribes used it, and and just
That's the
that
part that's
nobody
missing.
knows anything about.
Yeah.
Because all we know is our society and what the media tells us is okay.
Ooh.
But don't we associate it with like the prison population?
Totally.
That's so.
I mean, because
Yeah,
it's,
and the military.
and
Yeah.
And
sailors
bikers,
have
bikers, yeah.
But again,
people on the margin of
well,
society.
think about what society made it. Society,
Yes.
Western society made it
Yes.
so. Well, those people get it because that's them. That they're bad.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily make it so.
It's
Now-
only because we
now you
don't
can
know
get-
who has it.
You can get this
That's
right
true.
here on you.
Yes.
Whereas in back in the day, you couldn't get that type of art on you.
Okay.
The knowledge wasn't there
Okay.
on what's capable on skin now.
Oh.
I mean, it's completely different. You can get the Mona Lisa tattooed on
Really?
you, and it'll look like the Mona Lisa.
Right. So when I get
Whereas
my
before it was, you might get, an
So-
anchor or something. You know what I mean? It just
Right.
nobody. It wasn't. You got fine artists
who are doing
that paint just like this,
Uh-huh.
and or whatever, and
Wow.
and they do tattoos
Like
just
for
like
women,
that.
can you do like tattoos, like the eyeliner on and all like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, they do. Tattoo make. I don't do tattoo makeup.
Okay.
But it is
There's
done.
like
You can have
equipment. You gotta have
tattooed on it.
that kind of equipment.
Okay.
wow. So definitely you need to scope.
We need to.
You need to scope because there's still and one of the things I say there is a lot of history. I mean, you just took it like way back.
That's right.
In
And
that
and
segment,
honestly,
yeah.
I don't know a lot myself.
But it definitely needs
But-
to be explored.
Yeah, as I've been tattooing, this is a new thing for me. I've only been
Okay.
tattooing, maybe 5 years.
So were you an artist before in some other form and you took it into tattooing?
I've always drawn since I was little.
Okay.
And I just took a long break away from it, and then I kind of got into it.
That was reignited it for you.
Yeah, just kind of, I don't know. I just got into it late. I wish I would have got into it years
Earlier.
ago. You know, I would have been in a different place now. But
How come there isn't? How come the whole temporary? Like I would probably if I could change my mind.
there is something I'm trying to do though, temporary. type of
Temporary,
tattoo.
yeah.
Where it'll last like a couple weeks, and
Yeah.
but I still got to work out at kinks with that.
Yeah.
But it is something I'm thinking about doing.
Because in the
And then
summertime, I
it's
try to
gotta-
do full body as long as it fades.
It's got to be. I have to make it to where it makes sense for me.
Makes sense for you.
Because it's not, I mean, I could spend, 10 hours, 20 hours trying to draw like a back piece or something. I mean,
Right.
it takes time.
Right.
And then that I don't necessarily get paid for that.
Right.
I get paid for when I tattoo.
When you tattoo.
So it's a, you kind of
What
got to
about
weigh
like
whether or not.
stenciling? Could stenciling like let's say I've got an event and okay, I want to be out there for a minute and I want to just be stenciled.
Yeah, well, that's what the temporary thing would do. But
Okay.
again, it still takes time.
Takes time.
So I'd have
So
to.
you gotta
I have to
monetize
figure,
it.
Right. I have to figure out like I could be tattooing at $100 an hour, or
Mm-hmm.
I could be building a stencil for you. It's going to take me 4 hours to do.
Right. Oh, because
So
the
it-
build up before you even get to the person.
Right. So
Okay.
it has to make sense. If it does, if it doesn't make sense,
Right.
then
I
that's
got
the
you.
only problem. That's the kinks that I haven't figured out yet.
Figure that out.
Because
To
it's like,
monetize it.
right.
That's
saying,
why-
it's like
yeah.
saying,
You
you
got
want
reader.
this, but how bad do you want it?
Right.
You can go out
But
and
again-
spend $100, but if you
But
do
we got
want to spend $400,
but again, we got a level of service that an entrepreneur could give, but they've got to figure out the billable side, how to monetize it.
Yeah,
And that's the
yeah, because people, I mean, you're going out to have a good time, and you might
wanna
want
wash
to
it
leave,
off,
but
right.
but at the same time, is it cost effective
Exactly.
to do that?
Exactly.
And that's where we run it. 'Cause
So
it
we got to
takes
figure
time
out
to do
if
it.
the influence of me having that sleeve for the month or the weekend or whatever, am I willing to pay the price
to do it.
to do it?
Yeah.
And
And that's really the biggest problem right
But
now.
what you have to do is to then educate that audience of the influence that that's going to create and the price, the value in it,
Right.
and pay that value.
Right. And then you can also get like tattoo ideas. Like, say if you want to try something and you say, okay, I
Oh.
want to do this, but I don't really want to commit 100% because there's no going back.
Right.
Right.
So
wear it
maybe you
for a
do
little
something
bit.
like that, and I'm just trying to work out like
How to do it.
like it makes sense for me. I'm not shooting myself in the foot time wise, and and availability wise. Because if
Gotcha.
I'm booked doing actual tattoos, and you say, okay, I want to do this thing, and I'm like, well, I've only got so much time.
And that's what we talked about with Nicole as far as the graphics. So you see that it transcends to all of our art.
It does.
Well, like,
Is that an issue for artists just trying to get what they're worth?
It could be.
it
yeah,
totally
It could
is.
be.
Totally.
And I also, I've met artists that
You easing
that
out of the
pain-
shot too. You notice that, right?
I did that.
You easing out of the
Ah.
shot. Yeah.
Come back this way.
So,
Okay.
so they, I ran across artists that are paid. They're paying a picture, and they have to put a price tag on it high because otherwise they're not taken serious.
Right.
So it's you know what I mean? It's like you jack your price up so the elite will say, oh, it's worth that, blah blah blah, and but then your mom and pop shops and stuff, it can't. Nobody's gonna buy it because
Right.
it's it's $800-$900, $1,000. Nobody's really
You got to
walking
go
around
to
with it.
where the premium is. for that.
Right. So it's kind of it hurts in the art. It hurts because of that. It's like the same thing with me. I have overhead, so I have to charge X amount of money, or it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I'd much
Hurts.
rather, in my mind, tattoo one person a day than 6 because
To change up your value.
well, because I could spend the time it takes to give you the best product.
Ooh.
You
We-
know what I
we
mean?
keep
I'd
hearing
much rather
that.
tattoo
We keep
one
hearing
person
that.
like for 6-7 hours as opposed to 6 tattoos for 20 minutes.
Awesome. I think
It's just-
ArtScope, there is a hashtag out there. You just got on Periscope, ArtScope. There's different challenges out there. There's the art community on Periscope.
But then
And
you
they
also
have
to
that kind of
realize
discussion.
There's contests that undermine
Yeah,
the things that we do.
yeah.
A lot of companies will run design contests and stuff like that, and the artists are expected to donate their
Right.
project,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they might
That
get
whole Peter
paid.
Pan thing, yeah.
Right, they might get paid if they win, but then you've got a couple hundred artists
Their hours, yeah.
Their hours
Yeah.
are donated into this project.
Well, that's why you have to, even if you're going to do that, you have to go into that with the sponsor. That's
Yeah,
how you monetize
right.
that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what you don't understand is there are fellowships out there that have. You see people and see that's that comparison thing. You seeing people participate in these contests, you don't know how they're doing it.
Right.
They're doing it because somebody has underwrite. They have an underwrite
Right.
of their time.
Right.
So, but you don't know that because you have to know where to go find that online.
Right.
They're not just in that then you go get in that contest and then you can't monetize. You got to understand that's the nature of the business out there. There are a lot of people out there that just participate in these contests because they have an underwriter.
They have somebody.
Somebody that's paying them to, somebody's getting some kind of value out of what they're doing.
Right.
Okay? But you have to know that that's what's going on. Because that comparison, especially in social media, people are like, well, I see you doing this and all that. Like people that know the past 7 years, I blog because I had an underwriter.
Right.
But you want to know how did she go to this event, how she's going to that event, monetizing all of that.
Yeah,
You got to understand that. Time is money every day, all day.
It just
That's right.
is.
Every day, all day.
It's just the way we live,
Yeah.
and you have to accept it.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, and you see how much conversation around tattoos. Because, Miss Bella travels over there. You can already tell she wants one. She had some serious questions.
I'm scared.
She's scared.
Well, a lot of people are scared. I get a lot of first timers, and really, honestly, I have a real good success rate when it comes down to people getting their first tattoo. Because I can talk to you. I make you feel at ease. I walk you right through.
Awesome.
It's not. It's you build up more inside in your mind than just like me not wanting to come get on this.
Camera, and
It's
look how much
just-
value you added.
It's just that your mind
Look at all the
will
hearts.
stop you from doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
What you heard when he just said your mind
Will
and
stop
what-
you. That's right.
You had that was one of our Fearless Fridays. What
That's
did
right.
you say? You said something about mindset. The mind.
You have to have the mindset to overcome your fears, and if you don't have that mindset,
Well,
those fears will overcome you.
Yeah, you'll stay in that box because
That's
it's
right.
comfortable.
Awesome.
It's really true.
I can't wait for your first scope.
Yeah,
I
we're
can't
gonna
wait.
make it happen.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's nice to meet all y'all.
You turn to the camera
I
and
did.
say hello. Tell everybody again where to follow you and your Instagram.
The Instagram is Angel1170 RIV, and the shop is in Tucker. It's called Ink Addicts. It's
Ooh, I love
3145 Tucker Norcross Road.
Okay.
Okay.
And then go around to Miss Rhonda. She's gonna type your information in the scope. Make sure she's
Okay.
got that. You said what was that? Ink Addicts.
Ink Addicts.
I don't know. That's a
I like
hashtag
that.
out of this world.
Mhm.
Ink. INKADDICTS.
It's Z.
Okay, yeah, go make sure she's got the spelling on that,
Okay.
so they can get it and follow your hashtag and then go back and make sure you hashtag all your work. Okay.
Yeah.
We're
So
kindred
it's fine.
spirits.
Ink Addicts.
He's an addict and I'm a habit.
Exactly. I love that. Ooh. Okay. We
That's
gonna
just-
And you're mobile too.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I
mobile.
do
Ooh.
travel. There's a travel fee, but I do travel.
Okay.
okay, we're gonna pick up on what? Okay, you want to stay or you want?
I'm gonna, say bye. And
Love it. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for
All
coming
right, you guys will soon see his work on my wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna type in his hashtag. She said he was an addict. She's a habit. I like that, guys. I tell you what we're gonna do is we're gonna stop and so that everybody can watch the replay of this. We'll do an after scope. We're just trying to back on, let you enjoy. But I hope everybody's out having a great Black Friday. This is what our network does on Fridays. We meet up here at Tuya. And
A spiritually filled, thinking woman. And that is what we've been lacking in our community.
Go now to dryerbuzz.com and follow @dryerbuzz on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's all about the buzz.